It was a quiet afternoon at the Montrose Grand, the kind of place where polished marble floors whispered wealth and chandeliers reflected lives untouched by struggle.
Yet amid the hum of expensive conversations and clinking glasses stood a shy young waitress named Emily, her hands trembling slightly as she adjusted her apron.
She had been working here for barely 2 weeks, invisible among the refined guests who never looked twice at those who served them.
But that day, a single moment, a single gesture would change her life forever and leave even the coldest hearts in tears. Emily had always lived quietly. Life had not given her the luxury of noise or confidence. She grew up in a small, struggling household where silence was her shield. Her father left when she was 12. Her mother worked double shifts to keep the lights on. And Emily often spent her evenings practicing sign language, a skill she had learned to connect with her younger brother, Jack, who was born deaf. That skill, born of love, sacrifice, and necessity, had always been her secret comfort, a silent world where words could never wound. The Montrose Grand was the farthest thing from her world. It was where billionaires, diplomats, and polished heirs came to dine beneath golden ceilings. And that afternoon, Emily was assigned to serve at Table 9, a private setting reserved for billionaire Michael Davies. His mother, Catherine Davies, a woman of grace, dressed in pearls and quiet dignity, joined him. Michael was known for his brilliance in business, but also for his reputation as cold, precise, and distant. Most of the staff whispered about him, a man who built an empire yet seemed untouched by humanity. Before we dive into this story, if you believe in the quiet power of empathy, if you believe that genuine connection can bridge any gap, then please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Third Person View, and share it with someone who believes in the profound impact of a single act of kindness. Your support helps us spread stories that remind us of our shared humanity. When Emily approached their table, her palms damp with nerves, she noticed something that made her pause. Catherine Davies wasn't responding to the waiter's questions. Instead, she smiled softly, trying to read lips. Then Emily saw it. A discreet hearing aid, and the way Michael gently leaned closer to his mother when speaking. Emily's heart clenched. She recognized the effort, the familiar rhythm of someone living between two worlds, one filled with sound and one embraced by silence. Michael glanced up impatiently, noticing the hesitation in Emily's stance. He expected formality, efficiency, not empathy. But before he could speak, Emily took a small, steadying breath. Then, with trembling hands, she began to sign. Her fingers moved gracefully, expressing what her lips could not. "Would you like still or sparkling water?" For a heartbeat, everything around them froze. Catherine's eyes widened in disbelief, her hand flying to her chest. Those silent gestures had reached deeper than any word could. Then tears welled in her eyes. Tears of recognition, of gratitude, of joy. She signed back slowly. "You know sign language?" Emily nodded, smiling softly, her heart racing. Michael stared in stunned silence. For years, he had seen the world treat his mother with polite pity or awkward impatience. Waiters avoided her. Conversations excluded her, and every dinner outing was a careful balancing act to protect her from embarrassment. But now, across the linen table, his mother was laughing, truly laughing, as her hands moved in perfect rhythm with the young woman. As the lunch went on, something magical unfolded. Emily didn't just serve, she connected. She signed each question, each menu option, and even shared small, light-hearted signs that made Catherine's eyes sparkle like they hadn't in years. Other guests began to notice the billionaire's mother chatting joyfully with the shy waitress, and whispers spread through the dining hall. Michael didn't care. For once, he wasn't thinking about profits or deadlines. He was watching his mother come alive.
But for Emily, it was more than kindness. It was memory. As she signed, she remembered Jack, the little boy who used to tug at her sleeve for attention, who had passed away 2 years earlier after a long illness.
Her hands moved with both skill and sorrow, expressing words her voice couldn't carry anymore.
It was as if, through Catherine, she was speaking to her brother again. One last conversation that the universe had given her by chance. After the meal, Catherine insisted on meeting her personally. Michael watched as his mother clasped Emily's hands tightly, tears glistening in her eyes. She signed, "You made me feel seen. You reminded me I'm not alone." Emily's lips trembled as she signed back. "You reminded me that love never disappears." The quiet beauty of that exchange made the air around them almost sacred. Later, Michael called Emily aside. She braced herself for criticism, maybe even reprimand. After all, she had gone beyond her duties. He told her how his mother had felt isolated for years, even in her own home, and how no one had ever cared enough to communicate with her this way. Then, in a rare moment of vulnerability, he confessed that his mother had taught him the importance of empathy, something he had lost somewhere between boardrooms and business wars. But instead, Michael's voice was different, softer, uncertain. Emily's simple act had reminded him what truly mattered. He asked Emily about her life, and when she mentioned her brother, he understood the depth behind her gestures. Without much saying, Michael arranged for the hotel to sponsor free sign language training for all its staff in memory of Jack, though Emily never asked for it. He also offered her a full scholarship to pursue special education, telling her the world needed people like her, people who could bridge silence with compassion. Guests who witnessed it shared the story online, and soon it became a symbol of quiet humanity. How one shy waitress had done something no wealth or power could buy. Word of what happened that afternoon spread far beyond the hotel. She had spoken to a heart without needing words. Catherine often returned to the hotel after that, always asking for Emily, and their friendship became a living testament that kindness, in its purest form, doesn't need sound to be heard. Weeks later, as Emily stood by the window during her break, watching the sun filter through the Boston skyline, she thought of Jack and whispered a silent thank you. Sometimes the world tested her with loneliness, but moments like this reminded her that love always finds a way to return, often through strangers who need it just as much as you do. If this story touched your spirit, if it reminded you the true understanding speaks without words, then you know that empathy and human connection are the most invaluable gifts. Please like this video, subscribe to Third Person View, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that quiet acts of kindness can change the world. Before we close, I want to ask you, what overlooked act of kindness have you witnessed or experienced that left a lasting impression on your heart? Your support helps us continue sharing narratives that illuminate the best in us. Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read them all.